the
with
the cartridge
to set it.
Hi. Welcome to Pub Logic Podcast. Broadcast is actually the first one we're doing. These are my friends, Julia, Mark, Stephanie, my lovely wife, Jennifer. I'll be your bartender. I'm Jess. So to start this ridiculousness off, first of all, y'all need to be a little less quiet because